Hey guys, what's going on? This is Mike Murtis from GamerLogic.net, and yeah, things probably look a little different. That's because this is kind of a special video I'm doing. If you follow me on Facebook, if you follow me on Twitter, you'll know that I recently acquired a PS Vita TV from a friend, and I've been getting a lot of questions as to what it can do, what it can't do, what it's all about, and I figured I'd do kind of this special video. After some tweaking and figuring out some things, I'm finally able to dig into this thing as well as actually show you the PS Vita TV in action itself, right? So to sum up the PS Vita TV, if you're not familiar with what it is, Sony announced this probably 5-6 months ago. It came out in, I believe, October or November in Japan, and they have not announced the system officially for any North American territories yet. But what appealed to me so much about the system was the fact that I'd be able to play some great PS Vita games on a big screen as well as PSP games. Yeah, you can hook up your PSP to a TV using the component cables, but nothing beats the ability to play any of these handheld games with a DualShock 3. I was really bummed out when they announced it, and they announced that it wasn't coming to North American territories at least yet. But I've kind of kept my eyes on the system a little bit. And recently a friend of mine was looking to get rid of his, and he was looking for some memory sim chips for his Street Fighter 3 Third Strike board, and I happen to have some extras, so we did a international shipment and we traded. So yeah, that's how I got the PS Vita TV. So let's take a quick look at the unit here itself. Actually, I just have it on the floor because I've been playing with stuff here to try to get it to record essentially. And this is the PS Vita TV itself. I apologize that I can't do a zoom in, but there's plenty of pictures online for this thing. So this is the unit itself. Comparing it to the size of an actual PS Vita handheld, it is small. This is probably one of the smallest tabletop or set-top boxes I've ever seen. And what you get with it is you get the unit itself, you get the little white light that tells you that it's actually on, and then if we flip it around to the back here, you have your AC adapter plug-in, which is what it comes with. You have your NIC card here that you can plug in an Ethernet cable to your network. Otherwise, it does have wireless, so you can use wireless to get on. You don't have to be wired. It has an HDMI cable slot, and it comes with an HDMI cable. And then here is the USB if you want to sync up the controller to the unit. Then you get your memory card slot here, the power plug, and then if you open it up on the side here, this is actually where the physical card of the PS Vita games go in. And you'll see a little bit when I actually get into the menu of the PS Vita TV that I have Persona 4, the Golden, put into this. So yeah, that is the actual hardware in a nutshell. I got the basic edition from my buddy. He didn't buy the deluxe version that came with the special DualShock 3. I got a PlayStation 3, so it was easy enough to sync with the thing. So let's talk a little bit about some of the disappointments, and I'm going to go ahead and jump into the actual menu here. So we're going to switch the scene over while we're doing that, and right away let's just discuss some of the shortcomings of this thing if you're looking to import one. Okay, so this is actually the PS Vita TV live right now, and right off the bat I'll tell you that it was quite a pain in the ass to even get to recording this point, and that is because, much like the PlayStation 3 and just like the PlayStation 4, Sony enforces HDCP on the picture. If you're not familiar what that is, it is a sort of handshake that goes across the two devices, and if it doesn't make that handshake, well then it just either won't display, or with certain devices you won't be able to record or broadcast any of the picture because the content is HDCP protected. Now, I can see why Sony would do that with their PlayStation 3 and their PlayStation 4 systems, due to the capability of being able to watch Blu-rays, but for a PS Vita, for a handheld, and especially a PS Vita TV, it's ridiculous. So by default, unless you have a development unit, or if you have an HDMI stripper, or I'm sorry, an HDCP stripper, there is no actual way to broadcast this. And thankfully, due to some random trickery on my part, I'm able to record the content. So very, very disappointing from there for a company that really touted that their system was all about sharing with the PS4 compared to Xbox One. It really cracks me up that they have all this HDCP protected content on something as small as this. So that's one of my first major complaints, because what I really wanted to do with this, and a lot of other people I discussed this system with, they wanted to be able to stream their PSP games or their PS Vita games with this system. And like I said, if you don't have the tools needed other than your standard recording gear, you're not going to be able to do that, and that's really unfortunate. So let's go to the next gripe, and actually I'm going to go ahead and grab my DualShock 3 here. Okay, we're going to fire this up, and let's talk about another big gripe I have about this thing. And yeah, you're probably going to notice some Japanese titles and stuff I have here. That's another thing we'll discuss. But if you get to the bottom here and the top, you'll notice a couple things here. AC3 Liberation, Persona 4 Golden, Unit 13, Wipeout, Shinobi 2, Mortal Kombat, Metal Gear Solid HD, Little Deviants, and Ultra Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and then as well as the new Ys game. I cannot play more than probably 85% of my PS Vita game library. I have a lot of cards, I have a lot of digital games, but let's talk about the issue with the cards first. Now, like I said, I have a decent amount of games, and out of my collection, here are the games that I cannot play. I cannot play Uncharted, which they noted. I cannot play Wipeout, which they noted. I cannot play Little Deviants. I actually cannot play the brand new Ys. Talk about that in a second. I can't play Metal Gear Solid HD Collection. I can't play Gravity Rush. I can't play Assassin's Creed Liberation. I can't play Unit 13, Shinobi 2, or even Mortal Kombat. I can't play any of these. What I can play out of my physical library of games is Ultimate, Marvel vs. Capcom 3, big deal. I have the Xbox 360 version of that. Dragon Crown, great. There's actually a PS3 port that I could play if I purchased it. And the only other one I can physically play is the brand new Persona 4 Golden, probably because it doesn't have touchscreen capabilities. Now, here's the deal when we get into issues with the region problems with this system. Now, Ys Memories of Celceta, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, is actually supposed to be compatible with the PS Vita TV. And unfortunately, because my physical card is a North American release, I can't play it. If I try to launch it, I can't play it. Now in Japan, this is out along with the PS Vita TV, obviously, and they released a patch that would actually allow you to play it on the PS Vita TV. They changed some of the required touchscreen elements of the game if you're using the PS Vita TV, so you can go ahead and play it. Now, because this isn't out in our region, it's not out in North America, I forget the company that makes these games, unfortunately, but yeah, you can't exceed, as the publisher, Falcom is the one who makes them. I cannot play this on my PS Vita TV because this is the North American release, and there was no reason for Falcom to actually publish a patch for a region that doesn't even have the PS Vita TV. So I'm stuck playing this on my PS Vita. Not horrible, but really, really disappointing. And there's just so many other games that you just can't play, unfortunately. And it's all due to the fact that they're just not compatible. The ones that really surprised me too was like Metal Gear Solid HD, Mortal Kombat. I know there's touchscreen elements to that, but come on. And what it comes down to, unfortunately, is the fact that in order to support this system, developers would have to go back on their games and kind of reverse engineer their games or add features to make the PS Vita TV work. And these games are, you know what, a year or two old now. There's not going to be many companies that are going to go back and support the PS Vita TV. So that really makes it dire for a region like North America, because we don't have that many games for the system anyway compared to the Japanese market. So it's until there's more titles released for the PS Vita here, it's not very viable for Sony to release this. And probably one of my most disappointing selections here is Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation. I enjoyed it on the Vita from what I played, but I wanted to play it on a big screen without having to purchase the brand new HD version. Can't do that. Doesn't work. So very, very unfortunate there. Now the other thing is, I talked a little bit about region locking about the system, and thankfully I have two different PS Vita memory cards. I have a 32GB, which is my main memory card in my system, and then the original memory card, which is a 4GB, is actually in my PS Vita TV because I cannot use my 32GB card for my normal PS Vita because that is a part of the North American PSN. I had to create a brand new account on my 4GB memory card for the Japanese PSN in order to be able to really do much of anything. So it doesn't matter that I have a 32GB card filled to the brim with PSP games and PS Vita games. Doesn't matter because those titles are not launchable or supportable because it's not available in the region. You can't even log in with it. So very disappointing there. Now the good news is at least I was able to get a 3-month subscription card with the PS Vita TV because it came with it. So I actually created a Japanese PSN account, like I said, and because it's PS Plus, I was able to grab a couple different titles. Here is a few PlayStation releases and stuff. They look great, they play great, and I'll show you guys in a second. There's actually a couple free TurboGrafx-CD Turbo Duo games, Gates of Thunder, as well as Lords of Thunder, and I think this is actually Wind of Thunder in Japan. And I couldn't get this system without getting probably one of my two favorite PSP games loaded on it. So I went to PlayAsia.com, I got a Japanese PSN card, and I bought Dracula X Chronicles as well as Mega Man X, Maverick Hunter X, and at least loaded those on my Japanese PSN account so I had something to play. So I've talked about my gripes about the system. Let's actually see this thing in action other than just floating through the menu here, shall we? So let us go ahead and we'll launch Persona 4 Golden really quick here. And another thing is, if you're unfamiliar with Japanese controls, circle moves you forward and X moves you back with Japanese controls. So that's how this applies to the menu. But when you get into the actual games that support the system that are American released, it's opposite. So you find your brain playing really weird tricks on you. So we're going to fire this up. I'm going to hit start. And here we go. We're just going to tell this no right now. And already I was trying to hit circle when I should have been hitting X. Okay, so we're going to skip that. Get right into the title screen. And as you can tell, this looks pretty good. You may see some compression issues when this file is actually uploaded, but this looks fantastic on the TV. So we're just going to do a new game. I'm just going to skip this so you guys can actually see the in-game graphics, at least of this.
Ah, it seems we have a guest with an intriguing destiny.
So this looks fantastic. Like I said earlier, it's 16:9. The PS Vita TV outputs at 720p natively. and I really don't see much artifacting at all. Now, the funny thing about this is obviously this is originally a PS2 title, so they didn't have to do too much to really enhance this, but it looks great. So instead of entering my name here, I'm actually going to switch it up a little bit. All I did was hit the PlayStation button, and if I want to close the application, I just hold down X, and it kicks me out of the application. So we're going to go ahead and throw in Dragon's Crown here, just so you can see how that looks. Get a little gameplay. Now keep in mind, I have not played Dragon Crown on the PlayStation 3, so I don't know how much of a graphical difference there is, if much at all. I'll laugh if I downloaded a patch for this and now it's not compatible, but trying it yesterday, it was fine. So again, full screen, no real signs of any pixelation or artifacting, anything like that. Looks beautiful.
Let's do this.
Well then.
You seated yourself. Coffee, you...
Skip this stuff. So yeah, I'm using the left thumbstick here to move around, and then, if I remember correctly, playing this on the PS Vita, you can actually use either the right thumbstick or you could do touchscreen, but I'm just using the right thumbstick here to move around, do what I need to do. And it's looking good. So yeah, that looks pretty good there. We'll go ahead and close this. And why don't we fire up really quickly a couple of original PSP titles. And this, in my opinion, guys, is where the PS Vita TV really shines. You will see pixelation on some of the cutscenes and stuff like that because it was on a UMD disc. But man, when you actually get into the real games here, they look fantastic. And this would be probably one of the primary reasons that I would actually want to get in and edit the firmware of this.
Irregular Hunter X!
So we're going to skip this stuff. We're going to just get right into it here. But man, this looks great. Can I just say that hearing these games in full audio is amazing. They sound so good on the system as well, and it looks great. We're gonna go ahead and load up another game here. And probably one of my favorite PlayStation Portable games, the main reason I originally bought a PlayStation Portable, and that is Castlevania Dracula X Chronicles, which again just looks great.
Vor langer Zeit lebten die Menschen glücklich und zufrieden. Niemand bemerkte den Schatten, der sich lang...
So just really quick, I wanted to show you some examples of the PSP, and like I was saying before, this would be primarily the reason why, if I wanted to hack a PS Vita system, this would be the one to do it, just so I could get access to certain PSP titles, especially if this isn't going to come over to North America. Not that I normally condone hardware hacking, but when you have such a limited piece of equipment like this thing, I'd like to get my money's worth, and even though I really didn't pay anything for this, that would be kind of the way I would probably see this going, unless Sony changes their mind and they decided to release this thing over in America, open up the North American library, because, I mean, this is a tremendous way to play PSP games. Like I said before, you can plug in your PSP with component cables, but man, it just doesn't beat this. It really doesn't beat this. So overall, what do I think of the PS Vita TV? Right now, unfortunately, it is a disappointment to me. There's so many games you can't play on it. Whether or not we'll see that change if this ever gets a North American release, I don't know. I can't see that due to the simple fact that what developer in their right mind would want to go to their back catalog and edit this stuff unless they really want to sell some of these titles. So if you're thinking about importing a PS Vita TV, my opinion right now would be to not do it. It is not worth it. Even if you are looking to potentially see what hacks are available, there's not many. It's something I've been diving into looking, and you really have to be timed with stuff. You got to keep a keen eye on things, and your window for stuff is very, very limited. And like I said, I normally don't condone hardware hacking for stuff, but again, limited piece of equipment here, especially for a North American user like myself. So again, my opinion, if you're looking to import the PS Vita, unless you have a huge Japanese PSN account with tons of games on it already, and they're mostly PSP games, because like I said, there's a lot of stuff that's not working for the PS Vita, it's not worth it. So if you guys have any questions about the PS Vita TV, feel free to shoot them over to me. I'm still learning about this thing, and I'm hoping to have some fun on it. You know, at least I can play Persona Golden on a big screen and some of these great PSP titles like Castlevania. But yeah, if you have any questions, be sure to shoot them over, leave them in the comments, and we'll go from there. So I hope you enjoyed this look at the import only, for now, maybe forever, PS Vita TV. Peace, guys.